Watch.
Okay, I will.
When you see it.
There we are. Good evening. Welcome to What's New. Today we watched, and you'll catch us talking again. So we have some lovely guests, and I'm going to have ours to introduce and present them to you, and they can introduce themselves, and we get this session going.
Okay, so who's talking first?
Darlene is.
Do you want to, Darlene?
I'll
Okay.
start, yes.
And this is Darlene
Melfeld
Melfeld-Klein, and she's going to talk about Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank Iris and Marianne for having me here tonight. And I've got a twofold purpose tonight because I do two separate things for Alzheimer's. I'm an advocate for raising money for them. I'm big into fundraisers. And that's the first thing I'm going to push tonight is our new event that's coming up. And it's on August the 19th. It's the Scooter Burgers. I don't know if you all heard of them, but it's a group of men in St. Genevieve that have scooters. And they got together and they wanted to do something. And they mainly do this for charity. They don't make any money off of it. But for the past 3 years, they have done this event, and it's made good money for us. So we're going to have it. It's going to be out on the lawn of Breeze, Elpers, and Wynn Law Firm. Look for the big white tent. We got hamburger, fries, drinks, and we are also going to have a drawing that day for a raffle that I've been selling chances for, and that will be drawn at 2 o'clock that afternoon. So if you have a ticket, come and hang out, and maybe you'll take one of the prizes home with you. The second thing that I want to do is promote the caregivers group that I am the facilitator for. It's a group for people taking care of people with dementia, Alzheimer's, any debilitating disease that needs a caregiver. Having been a caregiver firsthand, I know how stressful and how long a day can seem. Some days you just want to throw up your hands and say, I don't know how to handle this, I don't know what to do. Well, our group is here to help you. We listen and we share. People that you're going to meet there are going to be people that have lived in your shoes. They've taken care of a person. They might tell you something, a way that they handle a situation that you're going through right now that you haven't thought of having. No two people are alike. They're all different, but they're also sad. It's sad. There's over 5 million Americans that now have Alzheimer's, and 11% of them are over 65, and 33% of them are 85 or older. And as of now, there's no cure for Alzheimer's, and there's no survivors. The only way you know for sure that a person has Alzheimer's is they do an autopsy on their brain after death, and they find out then that they have got it. There has been a little breakthrough. Doctors now can give tests that determine that they do have that amyloid gene in their brain, and there is medication that can slow down the process, but they're far away from finding a cure. And that's why I'm so adamant in fundraising, because they need the money to have the research. They can't do it without it. So I've got a book here, and it's called Basic Dementia Guide. It's a Bible.
I've got that little thing if you want to set it on there.
This is a Bible for anybody that is a caregiver. It tells you from page 1 what dementia is. It takes you through the 3 stages of dementia, how to handle different situations because everybody is different. And it's like I said, it'll be a Bible for you. I am going to be at the conference that these ladies are going to talk about in a minute, and I'm going to have these books. I'm really low on them now because I've been giving them out like crazy. I do have more ordered, and I hope I'm going to have them by then, and I'm sure I will. And if anybody doesn't get there, if they want to take my phone number and call me or walk in on one of our meetings, I'll be glad to give you one because they're very, very helpful. So I think that's about all I've got to say. I do want to throw one little plug in. Last year we raised over $10,000 for Alzheimer's.
Wow.
So this year I want to beat it even if it's by only $1. So come out and help us out, and hopefully if you've not been touched by Alzheimer's, you're blessed. But I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know somebody that has been touched by this disease. And it's sad. That's all I can say. It's sad.
Are there a lot of people in St. Genevieve besides what's in Arbors, and are there a lot of people that have dementia that are home care?
I know people that have it. So many people are in denial. They don't want to accept help. I don't know if they're too proud or if they're just in denial, but boy, you need the help, and if it's given to you, take it, because when you come to our meetings, oh, and by the way, better tell you where we have our meeting, and I'll go on and do that later, but when you come to our meetings, like I said, you're going to meet people that have been there. Some of them may not talk. They may just come to listen, but they usually easily break into it, and they will start to talk. And that's what we do. We share. And our meetings are held on the fourth Wednesday of every month, 10 a.m. We're in the lower level of the Health Department building at 115 Bosler Drive. And you're welcome to come in and sit in, see if it's a fit for you. It may not be, but I think you will benefit from coming, so please do. Thank you.
What room is that in?
Pardon me?
Where is the meeting at?
At the lower level of the Health Department,
Oh,
around the back.
oh, okay. I know where that's at. Can I ask you something?
Don't make it too hard.
Okay, like if somebody, okay, is it a sign of dementia when they transpose somebody else into someone else?
Do they do that?
Yeah, is that, well, okay, I'll just take mine, for instance.
Okay, give me an example.
Because my dad, I am so much like my mother, he said, and my dad got to the point where he was calling me my mother.
Oh, they get very confused. Oh,
Yeah, and he was, and it was just like the day would revolve what she would have done for that day.
That's possible.
And
I mean, I don't know how.
It kind of made me, I didn't know what to expect. Let's put it this way,
You don't know
it
what to
bothered me.
expect. But that's a possibility because they completely become a different
It
person.
does happen. I know somebody that has somebody from their town, and they think that it's their daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I volunteer up at the Riverview too, and there's people up there that have been up there for years, and every time we go up there, she's waiting for her mother to come get her. They are in their own world, and that's what you have to do. You can't try to force anything on them because that confuses them. So you have to live in their world. And I tell her, she came out to pray the rosary with us, and she said, well, she didn't want to leave because she said, my mother's coming. I said, well, I'm going to take you out where they will tell your daughter, your mother, where you are, and she'll come get you. You just got to go along with them. They're like children. They're like children. You got to treat them like a child, and they're so, you got to be careful because even though they're the way they are, you can hurt their feelings. I mean, they still have feelings. You got to be very gentle with them. You can't. I mean, there's times when you really want to lose your temper, but you got to grit your teeth and bear it because it's going to happen. But like I said, this book tells you so many different ways to handle different situations because, like I said, I went through it. And when I read this book, I thought, I wish I would have known that. I didn't realize, sometimes some are really simple solutions to problems that you seem as, yeah. So it's just, I wish people would just accept the fact that we're here to help them and accept the help because I see people that I know need it, but I don't know if they're in denial or if they think they can handle it. But the first thing you got to do, caregivers, you got to take care of yourself because if you don't take care of yourself, you will not be able to take care of your person that you're caring for. And we lost in our group. We lost one of our caregivers. She outlived her husband. And so you got to take care of yourself, and that's what we're here for. It gives you an outlet to come to our meeting and share. Get somebody to stay with your person. If you got to pay them, so what? Do it and get out and share. You'll feel better when you do.
Darlene, on that note, Jennifer Burke
Yeah.
came to our Parkinson's Pals meeting today, and she mentioned that the Alzheimer's Association has like a $500 respite thing
Yes.
that people can
Qualify for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will give you money to get somebody to stay for a couple of hours or a whole day, whatever you want, to get you out, to go to the beauty shop, to do whatever you want, go shopping, just do whatever.
Or even to stay at somewhere like Parkwood or the
Yeah,
Arbors?
yeah, for the daycare. They can use it for that.
I didn't realize it, and she said they don't have to have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, just any sort of dementia. Or memory loss or
Right.
memory
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
So, that's a great untapped resource.
Yeah.
that-
And this
There's-
is through the Alzheimer's Association?
There's several of us in our group
Association.
that have used it.
Yeah.
Really?
They
That's
have
very
used
good
it.
to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have
so-
used it. Yeah, I know, there's several of them that have, so, and that's their farm, they want you to use it. That money
Right.
is given to them for that purpose, so
Right.
they want people to use it.
Because the Parkinson's Association used to have that, but it was abused. And so I don't think they have a respite program anymore with the
No, we
Parkinson's.
still do, and I've got papers on it, I mean, that you have to call their helpline. They've got a 24-hour helpline. It's not a hotline, it's a helpline, because they're there to help you, and they take care of everything. They, tell you, steer you in the right direction, tell you what you need to do to qualify for it. And I don't think it's much. I mean, I think it's pretty easy to get.
Is that number in that book?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, has this been going on, how long has this been in process? I mean, 5 years or?
What, this program that we've got? I've been doing this for this is probably my 4th year. They had somebody before me, and it was a college girl that was getting her degree in this, and she went back to college, so I got roped into it, and I've enjoyed it. But yeah, it's an 800 number, and it's called the 24/7 hotline. Helpline, I said hotline, pardon me, it's helpline. Okay, your turn, girls.
Well, I was going to ask, is that book, when you get more copies of that, can we have that for distribution to the public?
I'm going to have some of these at this conference, I hope.
Okay.
I ordered them, and I told him that I needed them by the 26th. And I told him I want them for the Scooter Burgers, because I've been handing these out at every function that I have.
Okay.
Because they're just so, it's like I said, it's a Bible. And so, yeah, I'll have
Can we
some.
get those and have them at the health department and have them out for people as well? Can I call the Alzheimer's Association and get some
I
myself?
bet you can, yeah. So if you want that number,
Okay.
Would that book, if I would read that book, would that help me kind of feel more at ease with myself? Because
oh, sure.
Dad's been gone 5 years, and I was at a total loss what to do.
I learned a lot,
I mean, I wish I would have had somebody that I could ask these questions about, because
I mean, that book is got so much helpful information that I didn't know, and I've been, like I said, I've been with them for 4 years, and I go to their conferences up there, and I thought I knew a lot, but I didn't
always
know
learn.
learn
I know,
more.
I
You
know.
never know enough.
And they're
But I'll get a
always-
book. I'll get a book to you.
They're probably always learning more, too.
Oh,
to
yeah,
add,
yeah.
you know.
I watched a program on, it was a Sunday evening, and I never watched, I think it was 16 Minutes, or is it 48 Hours, whatever one it was. And there was a program on there of, in Colombia, they have found that Alzheimer's is just, it's rapid. I mean, there's so many people getting it. And there was a man.
Country, Columbia?
The country of Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah. A man, 42 years old, had it, and he died when he was 46. He had 6 children. And so they took these 6 children, they took 3 of them, they gave them a medication, whatever it was, and 3 of them they gave placebo. They know, they can tell now by the tests that they're doing, if this amyloid thing is in your brain, you will get Alzheimer's when it combines with the plaque in your brain. And so they did this. They did not tell the children which ones had it and which ones didn't, but they are keeping up with them. And hopefully that's going to lead to some kind of discovery.
yeah. But I mean, I don't have anybody right now, but I would like to know, because I think I failed in some places. I mean, I feel like I did because I felt so helpless
Oh,
at
yeah.
times.
Well, they have found that it is hereditary, and that's why they're working so closely with this family. But just because your parent might have, that doesn't mean you are going to have it. You
No.
know, it's a possibility.
So when you said you felt like you failed, you mean in the care of your father, or, and this is where things like support groups come in so handy, because you have to go through it once to understand.
Yes, indeed.
But
It was difficult,
then
and
you're-
I just You know, I
Right.
didn't know if I was understanding it right because I didn't know anybody
Right.
that had had it, and I.
But you know a lot more now because
Oh,
you've been
yeah.
through it once. And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
where the caregiver thing is, because people have been through it, so they know what they're dealing with.
And the isolation and loneliness you felt for what you're dealing with comes out in the support group meetings and is able to help you then feel not so alone and to feel more strength in the advice and support that you get from others in the
I know we have one lady that just joined our group, and her husband doesn't have Alzheimer's, but he is in the nursing home, and she has been suffering from a lot of guilt. She doesn't feel right that she's home and he's there. She said she sat out on the porch one night and watched the sun go down, and she felt so guilty. And she was just in tears because she said, how do I get over this? And she felt so good when she came to our group, and she said, I know. And because we told her, you know, this is something that you're gonna experience that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's no way to get around it. You're gonna feel guilty. And that's why I hope so much that I did not have to put my husband there, because I would have done the same thing. But she felt so much better after our first meeting, and she's been back.
Well, I just feel like, sometimes I feel like I didn't do enough.
Yeah, well, you do.
But all I could do was just give him all the love I had and take care of him
And
the
that's the
best
best
way I
thing you
could.
could have done.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best thing you could have done.
Like I said, okay. I think I said my part. Okay, the caregivers conference. So
The
what all
caregiver
goes
conference.
on
What goes on there?
there? Yes.
Let's see, well, I'm Jean Grifford, and I do the Parkinson's Pals Support Group here in St. Genevieve since 2000, but who's counting? And
Introduce your friend.
introduce my friend. This is my friend, Sandy Bell. For those of you that don't know her, she's the head of county health. What's your
I
official
don't
title?
do anything there. I just kind of show up for the day, but my title is administrator.
Administrator.
I just walk in, whatever.
Anyway, so we're on a committee for the St. Genevieve Second Annual Caregiver Conference that's coming up Saturday, August 26th. Because, you know, we have, well, not we, but a group of people in the community have identified a big need for education for caregivers.
The
Just
exact
like Marianne's
reason, yeah,
talking.
exactly, the
Yeah.
exact same reason. We hear that from a lot of people, and people don't understand resources or no resources that are available right in town or very nearby, other people that can support them, issues involving caregiving. A lot of people are just not aware of what's available, what we can do, and what can be done, so.
You know, and
they
even.
probably don't know who to contact.
Absolutely,
Right.
absolutely.
And I know for myself, you know, we have a committee that meets to plan this, and every time I go to this committee meeting, I learn stuff, you know, and I've been dealing with this for 17 years, and there's still all kinds of stuff out there that you just don't know.
And people with services that we weren't always aware of as well.
Right.
Exactly.
So anyway, we're doing this conference. We had the first one last year, and it went over really well, so we're doing it again. Like I said, there's a committee of us that are doing it. It's, well, there's various speakers. There's going to be Kathy Walsh talking about veterans benefits, because that's another thing. I don't know why that says concerned citizens. Who did that?
I don't even know what that means. A lot of the topics that are presented this year came out of the evaluations we got from last year. Last year, the committee kind of just picked the topics that we thought were important, and it was well received. However, we did an evaluation, and people wrote down what else they would like to learn about, other things that they like to know. So we kind of came up with some of these topics on things that people had actually asked to have information on.
You know, and respite care options, which Jennifer Burke's going to
And I think that's one thing that nobody is really aware is available. And even if you leave your loved one for an hour, 5 hours, 6 hours,
Whatever.
that gives you a nice break to do your hair, grocery shopping, get your nails done, or just go play with your grandkids, and then go back to whatever you're doing. So it's a nice option that I don't think very many people are aware of.
How and Where to Get Medical Equipment by Rick Young from Sheets and Young. Because that's another thing, you know, you need a walker, you need a wheelchair, you know, where do I go, what do I do?
And it's not always best to borrow from somebody else.
No, one size does not fit all in those things. And insurance claim paperwork, there's going to be a representative from Aging Matters to help, you know, demystify the insurance, working with the insurance claims and.
And that can be very overwhelming. That's almost a full-time job sometimes.
Right. And biomechanics and transfers, so there's going to be Ketta Hill from Mid-America Rehab. Because, once again, people are taking care of their loved ones at home. You need to get them from the bed to the chair to, and there's right ways to do that so you don't hurt yourself or them, and there's other ways that maybe aren't so good. So Keta's going to help with things like that. Home modifications, Robin Reynolds from Life Center, things you can do at in the home, like those bars that you put by the door to help people get up, and
Right.
modifications to bathrooms and all those sort of things.
Ramps and anything else that might be necessary to help. And her program goes out and helps you learn what you can do, what's going to be beneficial in each individual home to help with that.
They make home visits, right?
They do.
And they do stuff like that. And then legal issues for the caregiver. Frank Alpers is going to talk about that. So, it's a great program. There's free lunch.
And breakfast.
And breakfast. And there's attendance prizes.
Yes.
What more could you ask?
And there's resource tables where a lot of individuals from this community are going to be there with what they have to offer to help in these situations. That was also a big positive review last year, because there were people at the tables that, when the attendees came, had no idea that they existed and what their services were. So it's good. The break times, they can go around, walk and meet and talk to each individual table to find out what services they have to offer. It may not be what you need this year, but maybe 2 years from now you will need it, or at least you now know that that person exists or that company exists and that program exists, and you can maybe later. There's going to be a program with a listing of all the people that are there as the tables and as well as the speakers, so people will have a resource to take home with them to also remember some of the resources.
And that's really nice, because when the time comes when you need it, you'll know where to go.
Right.
Well, and one of the things we're hoping people will come and learn is learn all this information before you actually need it. When you're in the middle of the
It would be
stress of
hard to do.
caregiving, it's kind of hard to reach out and figure out what you need when you can't even figure out how to get up in the morning and get through the day.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know some of these resources that are available and what's out there.
Yeah, it's nice to know. I take care of 4 people, and neither one of them was alike.
Right.
It was all different situations.
Oh, yeah.
St. Elizabeth will be there for adult care. If someone can't leave their loved one home and needs to have them cared for, they will have that service available that day, no charge. So you can bring your loved one if necessary. A lot of opportunity to ask questions to get to know what's going on in the community.
Right, and Sandy and I were talking about this earlier about the definition of a caregiver. Because, a lot of, well, as the title of this says, you call it helping mom out, we call it caregiving. I mean, there's so many different ways. I mean, just because you don't have somebody living in your home with you that you're taking care of doesn't mean you're not a caregiver. People, your loved one can be in a nursing home and you're still a caregiver. So, I've got several definitions here. As a family member or paid helper who looks after a child or sick, elderly, or disabled person. So if you go with children, we're all. A person who provides direct care, as for children, elderly people, or chronically ill people. So, you might take a step back and see if you are a caregiver. If you're helping somebody with medicines or doctor's visits or bathing or dressing, getting dressed, their chores, their meals, their bills, you're a caregiver. So,
It's kind of, it's a broad definition, and when you think about it, a lot of us are doing that, not really even realizing that's the role we're filling. And if you're having that role now, it's going to become progressively more detailed and involved. It's good to learn what's available and what you can do and need to do before you actually
it's
have
a
to have it.
crisis.
I had someone earlier today say, well, maybe I should send my kids to this. And while it was meant to be funny, it's actually true.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, to plan ahead and know what's available and what you need to do.
Well, people should go and listen to that, because boy, I tell you, when you get thrown into it, all of a
Right.
sudden,
Right.
it's just like, man, I got thrown in 4 different situations, 4 different things.
And it's absolutely overwhelming.
And one of them I run back for Arkansas for. And I was on the road a lot,
yeah.
and it's just,
It's exhausting.
It is.
It's mentally exhausting, it's physically exhausting.
Very stressful.
Yeah, but, but there's help out there. And I think that's what's so important, just to find resources that can help you.
And accept it.
And accept it.
Yeah, well, we were talking at the meeting today, because Jennifer was talking about their respite care, their day program, and their overnight program. And I said, okay, so that's all well and good, and you can get the Alzheimer's Association to help pay for the care, perhaps. But I said, what do you do about the guilt? And she's like, well, you know, it's just something
You
that
gotta
you have
cope
to
with
deal
it.
with it. I mean, I don't know how you get past that guilt stuff.
That's why you need the support groups to work it out and deal with it. It's
Yeah.
very therapeutic.
So that you know, so you don't feel so alone. Because you do,
And-
especially when you're in the home for 24 hours a day with that person, you feel very alone sometimes.
You feel like there's nobody in the world.
With this conference, we are asking for pre-registration so we know how much food to order. That's really the only reason we need to know. We want to make sure we have enough food to feed everyone. But if at the last minute you decide you want to come in, we are absolutely welcome.
Walk-ins are welcome.
Didn't get that out right, did I?
Walk-ins or run-ins or whatever.
Whatever.
Any kind of-
You can just show up, we'll take you in there.
So,
We'd like to do this every year. We'd like to have a good feedback from the crowd that's there so we know what we can do to improve it for the next couple of years. We got a lot of good information last year. I think it's going to be better this year than it was last year. And last year was good. And it's going to be even better this year. And we hope to continue to do this and provide these resources and this information every year.
Yeah, I think that's really great for people to know what is available.
you know, and so many, you know, people think that, you know, that doesn't apply to me but I think if you read between the lines or just listen,
Did you mention that it was at the First Baptist Church?
not yet.
No, we didn't do that.
It's up and coming.
We're just getting to that.
Yeah. 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the First Baptist Church in St. Genevieve on 101 Bosler Drive. And there's free lunch. And please help pre-register so we get enough lunch. We don't want to miss that.
Anyone can come to this.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's open to the public.
Anybody. And like she said, I think right now we have 24 vendors that are signed up to come
That's
to it.
a good number.
Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of information, a lot of resources, a lot of good things to pick up. We're the registration desk, so.
Yeah. You get to see us first.
And we'll have a bag with some information, but then you can take that bag around to each table and collect what all the information is that's going to be there available for you to take home, and then throw it on your table and go through and look at it.
Yeah.
And you may need this pile and not this pile now, but save it for later because that may come later. So it's a lot of good information.
And another thing that I experienced, if you call Medicare and ask them a question, you do not always get a correct
No,
answer.
you do not.
No, you don't.
It is very sad. We needed a lift chair. Oh, yes, it will be covered. It would be covered if I would have went to Jackson and got it, but not out at Oaks.
Oh, dear.
Oh.
So we had to pay, where the motor is covered if we would have went to Jackson and purchased it. Or called Jackson and purchased it.
Yeah, but you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we were told, oh yeah, just get it anywhere. It'll be covered by Medicare. The motor will. By someone at Medicare. And then when they denied it, I called and they said, oh, you got
Oh,
misinformation. I
that's
said, well, you
nice.
better train your people better.
Wow. Yeah, because you.
So be careful, people out there, when you call Medicare, don't always believe them.
Maybe call 2 or 3 times and see.
Yeah, see what kind of,
You know?
who you get a hold of, yeah, what kind of
Yeah,
answers you get.
it's like-
Now, do you know what the heck you're talking
Go
about?
for 2 out of 3. 3 out of 5.
You might get some,
You know, it was sad, but
Yeah, but I couldn't believe that. You
No.
know, because he told me where to get the papers, how to fill them out, the whole shebang.
And unfortunately, we hear that more often than I would like to have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Pardon?
We hear that more often than I would like to say, that people get the wrong information from people that are supposed to be the authority.
Yeah, and they're supposed to know what they're doing if they're working there.
And that's one of the reasons why you might have some of the insurance claim paperwork. Maybe some of these questions can be addressed. How do you deal with that? Who do you deal with? Who can you go to when you have these questions and problems? Did you have an appeal process?
yes, I made a lot of phone calls and got a lot of answers like she got. Some of them, well, I don't have the slightest idea. You'll have to go to this one here and call this person.
So there is an appeal there, and I'm going to fill it out, but I haven't filled it out yet. I don't know how long you have, but
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people and agencies that don't care, and hopefully, the ones that we're having in this network are ones that really do care about the people that are working with them, and they can answer a lot of these questions,
and they can guide them better.
guide them better.
Right.
Than someone you don't even know that you think knows everything or knows what they should know.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know that.
Well, and that's one of the things too that I didn't realize, like this area, the Aging Matters agency. You know, they have, well, I believe the Life Center has too, a thing that if you have any kind of Medicare questions, you call them and they, you know, they'll guide you through it. They'll answer your questions and stuff like this. So, you know, they're independent of Medicare, so.
So if I would have called them first, I might have got a
They're
better
like a
answer.
navigator that can help you through this process of the difficult paperwork, yes. Hopefully it would have worked out, but
There's methods.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so everybody out there, just be aware.
Yes.
and come to the conference. It should be very good, very informative, a lot of fun. We're delightful at the registration table.
Yes.
We have these young ladies here, so
Every-
give us a call if you've got any questions.
That's
We
right.
are, got a
Call us.
phone.
About support groups, we're very much support group advocates. Believe in support groups.
Well, everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people ought to understand that, because when you have friends and you talk to your friends, but if you're talking to somebody with like problems, it would probably even be better.
Right, they can
Because
understand
you
better.
have
Absolutely.
answers, plus your,
The, well, sometimes the term support group, I think turns people off or makes them wary. You know, because, I mean, just what exactly is a support group, you know? But, and going to that first meeting is the big deal, you know, taking that first step through that door. But, you know, once they get in there, it's like, oh, this is just a bunch of people, you know, and it's just amazing how they turn around. And, you know, to talk about the Parkinson's group for a little bit, which wasn't on the schedule, but whatever.
We have all the time in the world, just you go right ahead.
You know, I always tell the people in the Parkinson's group, you know, they are the Parkinson's experts in the community. You know, the doctors may have the training, but they are the people that live with it 24/7. And they have taught each other so many different little tips and tricks, like Darlene said, about how to take your medicines, you know, how to roll over in bed, how to, you know, all these little things that, you know, doctors, I mean, bless their hearts, they just don't understand what it's like to live with it 24/7. So until you've walked in those shoes, you just don't get it.
Well, that's for sure.
And even if you do it as a daughter, you don't get it as a spouse. It's a totally different journey.
That, I think is good in support groups, there's no judgment. If you come to the support group with a guilt, complaint, feeling you have to vent, everybody's been there. They've been there, and they know it, and they accept you, and they will walk you through it and help you through it, and you can leave, and nobody else in the world has to know what you're upset over, because,
Everything is confidential.
and they'll keep it, and they'll help you, and then you go back out, and you go back to having the strength to deal with your personal situations. That's very, very important.
I know I approached someone that, and I didn't want to push you, but just in a roundabout way, I said, you know, have you thought of maybe attending a support group? Well, why do I need a support group? What can you do for me? And I said, you'd be surprised. Just come and sit in on a group and see. I said, there's people that can tell you probably worse situations than what you're going through. You just don't know, because there's so many. I was just reading here. It says the person with Alzheimer's disease does not act the way they do on purpose. The disease causes a person to lose control. And boy, that's something you have to remember, because it gets very trying sometimes. And the higher quality of life can be had if the person receives help and support from Alzheimer's Association, family members, and caregivers. So.
It's very important because, boy, this time, I don't know, it just seems like the world, we're getting more and more people in these situations every day.
And you know, I hand out a lot of, it's a bookmark, and it has the 10 signs to look for fraud. And people look at it and say, well, I've got some of them. You know, I think I've got it. But here's something. It says the false beliefs about Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's disease is a normal part of aging. That's a false belief. Aluminum pans and foil causes it. No. Alzheimer's disease is not fatal. A person can catch it with a cold.
These are all not truth, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
These are
let's
the
just
truths.
clarify.
Alzheimer's disease kills brain cells. It is the most common kind of dementia. It cannot be prevented, and once a person has it, it does not go away. You have it till you die. That's sad. It makes a person unable to think, remember, solve problems, and make decisions. It makes a person forget and lose judgment about safety. It makes thinking harder and everyday tasks more difficult. And in the end, it takes away the ability to talk or to do simple tasks like brushing your teeth or bathing. I always say, my definition of Alzheimer's is it robs a person of their dignity, their ability to function as a normal human being, and their identity.
That's true. It does.
They just become a shell of the person that they were. You look at them from the outside and they look the same, but there's nothing on the inside that is even vaguely familiar.
It's utter confusion on the inside.
It really is.
And that's so sad because you don't understand that sometimes.
You don't.
I mean, you just,
And when you
It
say
blows
like
your mind.
you, when it's just jumped onto you and then you laugh and you thought, how did I get here and what am I going to do? Because
Yeah.
it's
I
just,
stood in the middle of the room and said, what do I do?
yeah.
One day at a time.
Where do I go?
In this book, they have the common behaviors for dementia, and it tells you the actions and then how you can respond to repetitive actions, suspicious thoughts, aggressive behaviors, just so many different situations. Hallucinations and delusions, sundowning, which is a big thing with people with
Yes, it is.
dementia, wandering and pacing, recognition difficulties, social inappropriateness, and it tells you how to handle all these situations, which is, like I said, it's a Bible. If anybody wants these books, give me a call or come to the conference or come
What's
to the
your number,
Scooter Burgers.
Dorothy?
I'm going to have them every place I go. Pardon me?
What's the number we can reach you at?
483-2757. Leave a message and that you need a guidebook and I'll get one to you.
You mentioned social inappropriateness. My father had Alzheimer's, and while I could, I would take him out to a restaurant to eat. And I had a note with me, and I gave it to the waitress. I said, my father has Alzheimer's. He may say things that are not appropriate. Please understand. I got the best service.
I have cards that I give
Wow.
people. I have cards that says that.
My
Yeah.
father would say,
That's a great idea.
"You're so beautiful. I think I love you." Okay, that would make somebody uncomfortable. But if you
But
know
you
he has
know it.
Alzheimer's, and the waitress would go, "Well, just thank you so much. I think you're beautiful too." It was great. And he would get his service, his good food. We're still here.
Under
It
that,
always helped. It always helped in those situations. I never, ever had to have a problem.
under that, it says socially inappropriate behaviors may happen because the person with dementia forgets what privacy or modesty means. He or she may not remember manners or how to act and talk in public. It might also be the case that the person can no longer control impulses, like to touch, but yeah, it's.
So do they have printed cards, or you just
I have
printed-
I have
Oh, do you?
card. I have cards, and there's two cards. One says I am with someone that has it, or if the person is not too bad, he can hand on and say I have a problem. It makes the person that they're talking to aware of what they're having. Yeah, I've got those cards.
Have you found that people have good response with that in public?
I give them to people. I don't know if they use them.
Okay, like I said, wrote my own out, and I always had a positive response
yeah,
from every place
yeah.
I took them.
Yeah, because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for the caregiver and for the person and for the person.
Look, and my father would never cease to tell you how beautiful you are and
Yeah.
whatever. And like I said, that can be very uncomfortable for some people if you don't understand.
Right, and you can't very well get the waitress off to the side and say something.
No,
but
you
just
can't.
slip them a note.
They would take it, put it in their apron, and then next thing I know, my dad got the best service ever.
Wow,
Yeah, it was good.
wow.
And people need to hear that.
Yeah, that's
You know,
brilliant.
People need to hear that so they know that it really works.
It does, it does. And I'm not just talking one facility. We'd go several different places, and it was always good. And then making sure that you're in their world, and not trying to make them come into yours.
Oh, that's
It
what-
always
yeah, you
annoy you and
can't
say,
do
"Do you know
that.
who I am? You know who I am?" No, he doesn't know who you are. Just move on.
Just act like you're out to dinner with me.
If they call you by the wrong name, just say,
Exactly.
yeah, you got to
Just
be
go
that
on with
person.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you hear that so much
Oh, yeah.
with men and their wives.
Oh, yeah.
Calling them people that they aren't. And sometimes.
Well, I do that with my grandchildren because I have so many with the letter T T. I go through all the T's before I get to the right one. But it's,
I think I heard my mother's name more than I did mine.
yeah.
And sometimes you have to find some humor in some of the situations.
Well, you know, that's
and
what I
not take it for
And
being
you know,
angry.
when you laugh, when they do that, they laugh too.
You know, that's
Or
what I tell,
sometimes they
I
do.
tell people that come to our meetings, I said, we laugh and we cry together.
One of my cousins has it, and his daughter brought her up to the house, and we were sitting in the car, and he was in the front seat, and the sun was shining in, and I was sitting in the back seat, and he goes, "What? It's so hot in here, let's just leave." I said, "We'll roll down the windows." He goes, "That sure didn't help."
Oh,
And I think we barely, it was hot. He knew it was hot.
One of my favorite stories with my father was when he was talking about something. My husband and I look our age, but he had me at age 17, which I'm sure you can see. But anyway, he had me at 17, and my husband made the mistake of saying, "Well, Sandy and I are going to go home." And my father looked at him,
like,
because my husband looked his age, but I was 17. He looked at my husband, he's tried to stand up like he was going to punch him. It was all I could do. I literally had to, and there was an aide with us, I mean, one of the nurses, he was in a facility, we had to leave, and we were dying laughing. And we left my husband in the room with my dad, and then we had to go back in. And then my husband goes, "I think I did a wrong thing." And he left, but it took a long time for us to stop laughing, to deal with it, which probably isn't a good thing to admit, but it was hysterical.
oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
That my dad would do that to protect me from that man who was going to take me. So funny.
And is it true that they live in the past more so?
Oh, yes,
than
yes, they
present?
really do. Yeah, they can remember things years ago and they can't remember what they had for breakfast, yeah.
Even
That's
when they
yeah.
get bad, I'm thinking.
Yeah, the later stages, yeah.
Dad could remember all of World War II, but he couldn't remember what he did an hour before.
Uh-huh.
My dad was the same way. He could talk about the war, talk about things.
Oh, everything, he knew it in detail. But if you ask him about something that happened an hour before that,
Wouldn't know.
he couldn't remember that.
Short-term memory's gone.
It was just, but boy, he knew everything about the war, in detail. It was,
They're good history books.
he was a history book. The kids loved to hear.
I love listening to stories when they tell them.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh, yes.
It's really like, they just get so excited. You know, it's really cool. Yeah.
And their eyes light up and they're living it again.
We actually started asking my dad questions because prior to his disease, he didn't talk much about the war. But after he had Alzheimer's, he talked a little more. So we would try to make it a point to ask him some questions to learn more, because he was more vocal and able to and willing to talk about it than he was years and years ago. So
Yeah, because most people that are okay don't ever talk about
right,
what happened over
right,
there.
it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
No, Kathy never talks about what's happened in every storm. She won't say one word.
Right.
She
And
will not.
my mom's brother had a couple Purple Hearts, and he didn't want them. When he was older, he didn't want them. Mom had them, and she wanted to give them to him because she had brought them from home because he left them there. And she just had them packed away. And a couple years before she passed away, he was down to visit, and she said, "Take these hearts." He said, "I don't want any remembrance of that whatsoever." She said, "Take them and give them to your grandson. He will appreciate them." And he said, and so Mom put them in a bag, and she said, "I'll put them in a bag so you don't have to look at them. Just take them and give them to your grandson." You know, so, I mean, those had to be really bad memories.
Oh, sure.
And that's why I think it's so interesting when they do talk about it, because all that stuff's lost.
Sure.
I mean, all that stuff is lost, and people don't know what really happened.
My sister had the foresight to sit with my father with photo albums, and he would remember who's in the pictures, and we would not know all of these individuals. And years ago, when people had albums, they just didn't write them because you knew who they were. And my mother passed away, and we didn't know who some of these people were. My dad would just say exactly who everybody was, and my sister would write on the back of it. I'm really glad she took the time to do that with
Oh,
him.
how
yeah.
wonderful.
Yes.
Because we have pictures, we have no idea who they were. Mom used to know, and before
Right.
before the last time we got the box out, she was like, I don't remember any of their names. She said, too many years ago. I don't remember their name.
Yeah, I'm glad my sister did
So all
that.
those pictures have no names. We know they're relatives somewhere back there, but we don't know who they are. Yeah. Yeah, I love when older people tell stories. Yeah.
Yeah, they're precious.
So, we have the fairgrounds still having their lawnmower races. I think there's one coming up the 19th
Yeah,
is the
19.
next one. And then there'll be one September, October, and two of them in October and one in September. So that is up at the
They
park.
actually race
These are
lawnmowers?
souped up lawnmowers.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're
Oh,
souped up lawnmowers. Everybody says
Do
it's
they have a
really
good turnout?
fun. Yes, they do.
Do they?
It's up at the fairgrounds. I think they're going to do them at the demolition derby thing
Okay.
now. They did do them in the horse arena, but it wasn't big enough so they could go faster. So now they have them.
Do people come from other areas?
Yes, these people are from, where'd they say?
It's in Illinois.
Yeah, I don't remember where they're from, but anyway, it's a circuit, like stock cars and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, but they're
Oh,
lawnmowers.
my gosh.
And they lost their place when somebody passed away. And then, I don't know how they found St. Genevieve, but they accepted them. So they had a trial one, the Fair Board did, and it worked.
So they'll periodically come back here?
Yeah, they've had like July 22nd, August 5th, August 19th,
Oh.
the 2nd, the 14th, and the 24th
Oh, my gosh.
or 28th of August, and they had them at the fair. And that was before the fair was the first one, I think. Wasn't it a couple weeks before the
Yeah,
fair, I
it was
think?
about 2 weeks before.
Yeah. So anyway, remember that because everybody says it's a lot of fun.
Oh, Tiger says terrific.
Our shows are also live, like tonight, the second and fourth Wednesdays, and then they're repeated at 7 a.m. in the morning, and at 1 p.m. and at 7 p.m. And then on Thursdays, they're repeated on Thursdays then until our next live show, and then that show is repeated. So anybody out there wants to know about the Caregiver Conference and the Alzheimer's information, you can watch What's New on St. John TV or on YouTube. It's available either or. St. John TV, YouTube, or 991, and pull up videos. And I think we might have a spot on their new thing that's right up on the headline that says What's New, and you just click on it. I think the show shows up on there. Before, it was like a long list, and you had to go through it, like the alderman meeting and all
Yeah,
that.
I've seen
But
that.
I think we're up on top. I haven't seen it, I haven't been on there, but I think that's what Charlie said. So,
Well, and actually, if they want more information about the caregiver conference, they can give me a call, Jean Grifford, at 543-2162.
They can call me at the health department.
At Health
543,
Department?
what?
2162.
2162.
Or they can call me, Sandra Brown, at the health department, 883-7411.
and if you want Alzheimer's, you can call Darlene at 483.
2757.
Got it.
And tomorrow evening is, no, the 17th, next week. Is that right?
Today's the 9th.
Nine.
Yeah.
Nine. Next week, there's Theology on Tap.
Oh, yeah.
So we won't be on air here, so if you want to write that down on your calendars, on Thursday, the 17th, out at Cozy Kitchen in Bloomsdale, they have speakers that talk about all kind of different things, and they're very interesting. Deacon Jim Bosler is going to be the speaker this next time. You do not have to be a Catholic to come. Any religion is welcome, and they have very good information and very good speakers all the time. They have like a happy hour for a half an hour, I believe it is. Starts at 7, and then at 7:30, the guest speaker will
Do
talk.
they have it in the restaurant part, right there in the
At Cozy
restaurant?
Kitchen.
Is it closed to the public then? I mean, or do they have, is it-
When we
Is
went
the
out there
restaurant
the
closed?
last time, we just went in and sat down. You can order
Oh.
drinks and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just sit at the tables. That's what we did the last time. I'm assuming, that was the only one I went to at Bloomsdale, but I'm assuming that's what it was. Jane Dunker was there then. She was talking about angels, and that was very interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the hierarchy of angels and how everybody has a guardian angel. and all that. So, anyway, what
There
else
are
we got
angels
going
on
on?
Yes.
We witnessed that last year at Christmas. Because Tyler should have never walked away from that accident.
Oh, yeah, your angels are with you a lot, yeah.
Because the highway patrol figured it was fatality right away. But he did. He said 2 hands reached in through the window and pulled him out.
Oh, wow.
And there wasn't anybody there because he was on a thing and you couldn't
And
get
who
down
was
to him.
this?
My grandson.
Really? I didn't know. Which one?
In Christmas last year,
Oh, wow.
he went off 61, where you cross that one creek and you start up the hill. He went off and he was hanging over the railroad track.
Which one's son is this?
Sue's.
Sue's.
Oh, okay. Oh, my gosh.
And he couldn't get neither door open. And they just thought it was fatality with the way the car was, the truck was and everything. And that's what they was going to call it in as fatality. And then,
Okay, and this weekend is Jour de Fête. So everybody attend that Saturday and Sunday. And on Friday night from 11, August the 11th, sorry, I read that wrong. From 6 to 9, not from 11 to 6. That would be a really long time. From 6 to 9, the Duberg Center is open up. If you want to buzz down there and meet your friends and whoever, your neighbors and friends.
Is that every Friday or just
It's Friday.
this Friday?
That's Friday. Beers are $2, wine, mixed drinks, soft drinks, pizza by the slice, music. Kids are welcome. Just stop by to,
Is that just
Visit.
because it's Jour de Fête weekend?
uh-huh,
Oh,
on Friday evening,
Okay.
and then the Jour de Fête Saturday. So
okay.
if you want a Friday night out and meet all your school buddies or whatever, church buddies, friends from St.
Or
John.
make new friends?
Or make new friends. Very good. Come on by. So Theology on Tap will be next week, but we won't be here, so we'll tell you about that one tonight. So this Friday night, Duberg Center, Jour de Fête this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. I think they said they have 150 booths. Is that what they said?
yes, so
Jour de
she
Fête?
said.
I think there's more than that.
Oh, she got more now.
Well, I was at the meeting last Thursday
Last-
night, because
okay.
Jim's vice president, and I went with him. How many did you say, 130?
150.
150.
I thought she said they had about 150.
Yeah, I think there is, I thought you said 130, yeah, I think
Yeah,
there's about
but
150.
she said about 150 it was
Yeah.
at when they were on here last week, our
Well,
last show.
I think there's a lot more food vendors this year.
Yes, that's what she said.
A lot more food vendors.
Yeah, she said there's a couple new ones.
So, we got all kind of things going on in St. John all the time.
And with the eclipse coming up, there's something coming up.
Oh, yes, that's another, well, we won't be on till the 23rd, so that's another thing.
Yeah, that-
21st of August is the eclipse, so be sure to wear your glasses.
Oh, yeah.
Not your glasses.
No.
The glasses that you pick up to look at the sun with, or you will have bad eyes.
For sure.
Yeah, and they said not to take a picture either, not
Yeah,
to shoot your
yeah.
camera.
They were telling you
Well,
the
you can
right.
filter,
Yeah,
I
they
think.
were telling you the wrong ways to take pictures on TV the other night.
Really, because I bought a special filter for my camera. It's
Yeah.
actually an eclipse filter.
Is
Right.
it?
And I think you can take it through the glasses too, can't you, through the pinhole on it?
I don't know about that.
Or a box, you can fix a box and put your
It's a
camera,
special eclipse filter.
somehow or another.
When am I going to use it again?
But you have to have
I
something
no idea.
on your camera, don't you?
Or filter.
I think so.
With the next eclipse. Yeah, but when you hold it up to the sun, you can't see a thing through it.
I'll just sit out. in the
It's
yard
all
and look at it.
black, is it?
Yeah. So
And then that's why it's filtering out everything except the,
But it will protect your camera lens. That's why you're not supposed to shoot, because it can damage your camera lens
Right.
if you're shooting straight at the sun.
so where did you get your,
Actually, I'm sounding like I'm really intelligent. My daughter-in-law ordered it for me. I don't know where she got it. You are really intelligent. No, she did. She bought it and gave it to me. I was so excited.
Well, they was talking about, MoDOT was talking about how the highways were going to be, and they
Yeah,
were
they said.
prepared for all these
well,
people.
we're
Yeah.
supposed to have lots of people, and 55 should be really crowded if they're going to Perryville and Cape and,
Well, people are going to be stopping along the highway, you know.
oh, yeah.
That's going to be a problem, too.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm staying home.
I know, I told my kids, I said, if you come Saturday and spend the weekend, because you're not going to move very much after
Right.
that.
I can't imagine that highway being that crowded.
I even heard that they
It's
possibly would
unreal.
close some of the highways, and I don't see how they can do
How
that.
can they close highways?
I don't know, but I heard
Wasn't
somebody.
it down
Where they-
Carbondale
they
they were supposed
back
to
up?
close one?
I
I think Carbondale
Yeah,
was
it's
supposed
gonna
to.
pass pretty close to our house over there, Helen and, well, ours, see, I'm getting this.
When is that? Let me
What number is
see my
that,
response.
Dorothy?
Which page is that on?
Glennon, Helen and Glennon Greashopper. It's gonna go right over their house on the map that was in the paper on Industrial
Really?
Road,
Uh-huh.
and then go through out there at, right by the highway,
Uh-huh.
the subdivision over, it's gonna go right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
So it's just probably from here to the wall over there from our house,
Oh, my gosh.
maybe a little further. yeah.
I'll sit on
So-
my neck and look at it.
Well, we got a lot of trees. I don't know if we'll see it. I think out at the cave where Jim works, they've got a lot of people camping out there,
I bet they do.
and they want to serve hot dogs that day, so we're going to go out and cook hot dogs for them, and I hope I can get there.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Maybe you'll have to get somebody to fly you there.
Yeah. I think if I go Highway O to 32, I might be able to get in. 32 is probably going to be worse, because there's not much shoulder on 32 to get off on.
Right,
No.
there isn't.
I'll get there. I might be late.
And where are you going?
Out to the cave.
Oh, okay,
The
winery.
They got a lot of campers coming out there, because it's
Oh.
all open in the field out
Yeah,
there.
that's neat.
And so they want to, Mary Jo wants to, I'm giving her a plug. Mary Jo.
That's okay, we don't care. People can
Was
come
that
on
for-
here and advertise their businesses. We are an entity of St. Genevieve
Oh,
City.
oh,
I mean, that's who this show belongs to.
Yeah.
oh, I see.
We're employed by the city but don't get paid.
I know. I told this girl that I've been emailing about this stuff, I said that I was going to be on TV. She wrote back and said, what channel? And I said, oh, you're not going to be able to get it, honey.
You can
I
tell
said,
her you can do YouTube and she can get you.
Really?
Or to go on the internet and go stgentv.com.
Oh,
You can
And
get
she
on the
can get
internet.
you.
because I
Kathy's
told her,
got
I
it.
said, no, it's cable, Channel 7, and I said, it's just like a community thing.
It
And I
is.
didn't think it was.
Yeah, but see, this is the announcement that Don wrote up for me, where the live shows will be repeated at 7, 1, and 7. And that's on either YouTube or you can go on St. Gen TV. Just Google it, Google
St. Gen TV?
what's new in St. Genevieve. Well, now a lot of people are using that, so I don't know what'll come
I
up.
think
Because I saw,
Don posts your schedule on Sun-Times News, too.
pardon?
I think Don posts your
Kathy
schedule.
got it on her computer. She
Yeah,
got it
because
on her
I think
internet in
other
South
people are
Carolina.
using What's New now.
So
I
I
saw
just-
one of the
I
stores
just-
advertised with What's New. And so we might not get pulled up first. But it's just YouTube, St. Gen TV /news, I think it is, but I'm not sure.
And it's what's new in St. Gen.
What's New, it's just What's New.
What's New.
Yeah, and then put St. Genevieve, Missouri, so they don't go What's New somewhere else. It just says St. Gen TV YouTube channel.
Because she
is
pulled
what
it
he's
up,
got
she pulled
written.
it up on her computer.
Yeah.
She went through the
Here's
internet
what
and got
Don's
it.
got, St. Gen YouTube
She said, I
channel,
can get it.
and then St. Gen TV. Or if you do 991, it should come up, and then you should be able to choose it
I
off of the
watched this the other
website.
night.
Yeah.
I
Did
was
you?
up till 1
The
o'clock.
Cave
I watched
Winery.
this the other night.
Yeah.
They still have bats in the Cape Winery, right?
They do what?
They still have bats there. I wonder if they'll come out during the 2 minutes of the darkness of the eclipse.
The
I
bats,
don't know. You know,
Bats do
that's a
what?
good
Keep us
question.
posted, Dawn.
That's a good
Answer that
question.
one. Let me know.
But we're not going to be down in the cave, but they do
The
come
bats
out.
do
in the-
No, but you'll
what?
probably hear about it.
Yeah.
During the 2 minutes of the eclipse, they're expecting a lot of confusion that nighttime animals
yes,
will come out
that's
and
right.
daytime animals will start to go to sleep. And
Right.
the Cave Winery has a lot of bats.
Bat.
Used to have a lot of bats in the
They
cave. I
should-
think
oh,
they
sure
still
they do, yeah.
And I just wonder if they're going to come flying out during the 2
oh,
minutes of the
you know they
eclipse.
might.
Wouldn't that be fun?
Oh, never
That
thought of
would,
that.
wouldn't that sky be beautiful?
Yeah, we're going to see stars. There's going to be stars.
Yes, it's going to be so
Yes.
bright with stars.
I just think watching the bats fly out would be fun.
There you go. Just protect your head. Oh, yeah, it's going to.
They'll be out there after all the mosquitoes.
Everybody said, oh, they're making so much out of it. I said, well, it's a big thing. Well, I'm not going to live to see the next one, I'm sure.
Nobody will. It's going to be
No,
years.
2025, didn't they say?
Yeah.
And that's not going to be here.
Here.
It won't be coming over our area. That'll be another
I
part.
think it's another 100 years before it comes over our area, isn't it?
I don't remember.
It's a,
Well,
I know it's a big,
Didn't they
it's a
say
big time
1918 was the last one?
Been a long time ago.
I don't know. I'm excited.
It's interesting to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah, because Perryville's they've got activities, lots of them, all day long,
I think it's
every
interesting
day.
about that man that's sending that balloon up. He's got that 8-foot balloon, and there's a camera in it, and it will explode up in the atmosphere, and then they're going to GPS and find that to get how that affected the atmosphere and everything with the 8-foot.
Yeah, that's going to be so
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's an 8-foot balloon. It had a picture in the 573 magazine.
They had a really good write-up for
Yeah,
Perryville
well,
in
yeah.
there.
Perryville's got a lot planned, yeah.
Yeah, they do. And St. John, I think, does that start on Friday too?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I
And
think,
then Saturday,
in fact,
Sunday?
I think some of the people from Jour de Fête might be staying over.
Staying over, that's good, yeah.
They said everything is booked.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
Has been for a long time. So,
So, anyway, got lots of exciting things in St. John. So, watch our show and
What are we going to do with all these people?
Yeah.
You know,
We're going to have more people than we ever
well,
had.
they said it's going to more than double our population.
I know, that's what they
Well,
said.
if
It's
they
just going
do-
to be,
Well, I read one place where they were expecting 20,000. Can you
Well,
imagine?
that would be almost tripling it.
20,000 people in St. Genevieve. There'll be,
I
look how it
can-
was at Jour de Fête.
Yeah.
Those years when there was 3,000 and 4,000, you
Yeah.
were arm to arm.
Yeah, it'll be mass confusion.
Yeah, it should be interesting, very interesting.
There's some people from Japan got Valley football field,
Isn't that something?
from Japan.
really?
Yeah.
They're coming from everywhere.
Sandra
all the
Kravitz
states.
was at one of the Jour de Fête meetings, and she told, and this was a long time ago when they first started talking Eclipse, she said there's a plane field coming from Japan, and they've got Valley football field booked.
Oh my
reserved.
gosh, I didn't hear that one. That is
Oh
cool.
my God.
Well, I think we've got the longest viewing here. Isn't it close to
I think so.
2
Yeah.
minutes and 40 seconds or something, which is
Something like that,
about
yeah.
the longest? So that's why they're wanting to come here.
No, it's going to be interesting. My dog will probably have conniptions with it.
Well, if he's inside, he won't do it. That's what I told my son. Be sure to get those glasses. I'm working, I'll be inside. I said, you're bound to peek outside. Get the glasses.
They
just
said the
to have.
skies will begin darkening at 11:30, and it'll go from 11:30 to 1:30, but the eclipse, it will be at 1:15, but the skies will start darkening for 2 hours.
That is, it's almost unbelievable.
How they can predict all this.
Uh-huh.
Kind of scares
Yeah,
you.
when they had that one up at St. John in the pack room
Uh-huh.
last summer, I guess. No, I guess it was in the fall. Was that when they had it?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that was so interesting.
Oh,
They
wow.
had one of the, I guess she was the scientist talking about it.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah,
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she gave a really interesting presentation. I think school was still on because she talked to the kids too.
Did you?
Yeah.
City Hall is going to be open.
Yeah.
I said, Sue, what are you going to do? She said, I'm going to be working, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, okay. Nutrition Center's open.
Is it? I don't know of any place that's closing. Schools did. They finally did call St. John off.
Oh, did they?
Did
Had
they?
in the paper this week that they closed, they're going to close.
Because of
we're
the
all-
transportation issues, a lot
Because-
more schools in the area that were
Yeah.
planning to stay open are starting to
They said for the
close.
kids' safety, it
Oh,
would just be too
yeah,
much.
they won't be able to get the kids home on the buses.
That's
The
the
highways are
answer.
too
No.
crowded.
Yeah.
And if there
Won't
happens
be
to
able to get 'em there.
Right, or if there's an accident, it's really hard for first responders to get. So it's just safer. A lot of schools that thought they were going to do school programs to stay open have started to change their mind and going
Yeah.
to close for the day, for safety
That's a
reasons.
good idea.
That is really a good idea, because
Yeah.
if you look at all the
Yeah, it's hard.
pros and cons.
Right.
The cons
I just
outweigh
hope
the
the weather
pros.
holds out for it. Wouldn't it be horrible if
Well,
it...
yeah, if it rains or gets cloudy, that would be awful.
That would be sad.
Yes. God won't do that to us.
I hope people are really praying hard that
Yeah.
it's sunny.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope it is sunny. I hope
So,
The
anyway.
weekend's nice too for Jurfett.
Well, it's supposed to rain. I was
I
there
know.
tonight, Thursday through Sunday,
Sunday,
rain.
right.
Of course, that can change.
I
but
want
that's
to
what the-
travel in the rain
Well,
Friday.
that's what we heard. Jim said that, and I said, oh, no.
Yeah, last year it poured on
Oh,
Sunday. it
Oh,
was
when those
awful
vendors
on
were getting
Sunday.
out down there, it was a mess.
I bet. We were down there when it started pouring.
We were in the beer
garden.
garden getting soaked.
So if you guys have anything else to say,
I don't
speak
think
up.
so.
If you don't, I guess we'll tell everybody goodbye and thanks for watching.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
girls, for coming.
And come back anytime you got something.
And if you don't have
Even
anything,
if it's
just come
2
back. Yeah. Just come back and visit us.
I'll be back in October to promote my mouse races.
I was wondering if you were going to do those again this
October
year.
14th.
October 14th?
And I've got some really good stuff this year.
All right.
What is that, darling?
It's mouse races, and it's a fundraiser
Oh,
for
mouse race,
Alzheimer's.
okay.
Oh, you
And,
want to come back for that?
Yeah, and it's a
October
lot of
what?
fun. We didn't have a really good turnout last year because it was the same day as the parish picnic and there was 2 weddings. But we still made good money, and everybody there had a good time. It was fun. I wish I could have played, but I couldn't because
I
I was
bet.
doing things.
Oh, that sounds like a
But we
good
have, this year we're having the chili bar, and then we're having a basket auction and an oral auction. I've got some, Charlie Reinhardt is donated a painting to
Is
me.
he really?
Yeah,
Well, good
he did
for him.
last year, and he's doing it again this year.
Wow.
And I have a lot of good gifts. I have a handmade quilt made by Jean Johnson, if anybody's ever seen her work. Oh, it is beautiful.
They are art quilts now, aren't they beautiful?
This
It isn't
quilt
like
is
quilting, it's
absolutely
like
beautiful.
art.
It is art. It
Yes,
is
it's
art.
definitely
I
art.
told her when I sent her thank you note, I said, you are so artistic. I said, I couldn't believe the detail in the front of it and the quilting in it and the design on the back. The back is as pretty as the front. And she did the whole thing herself, no help.
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of good things. So I might be back to push that.
That'll be fine.
Yes, do.
Yeah.
Do.
Because we need to get people there this year.
I want to go to that.
It's fun. It's really
So when you girls come up with anything at the health department or with your sport groups, just give us a buzz and come on.
we will.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And good night, everyone out
night.
there in listening
Thank you
land
for
and
watching.
hearing land. We'll see you later. Good night.
Good night.